Okay, everybody, we're live, we're on the air, and the Daytripper Photo Show is in action. We've got a special guest tonight. Of course, our buddy Phil is over there. Hello, sir.
Hi there.
And Gabriel hopefully will be showing up shortly because he's having a dinner with his wife tonight, so he'll be in a little bit. But our special guest today, and it's kind of been split. We have two special guests today. So we have Stanislav Yav. We'll call him Stan for the rest of the show, if that's okay. And his beautiful wife, Diana. Good day. How are you both?
Okay, good. Thank you. And you?
Oh, fantastic. I'm glad you guys are able to be on the show. So for those of you who don't know, Stan and Diana are going to be doing the presentations at the 2015 Daytripper Photo Expo on boudoir and maternity photography, two things that Daytripper hasn't done before. So this is really exciting for me that you guys are going to be on to do these great presentations. These are things that people want to learn more about. And I love the twist, Stan, that you're bringing to this conversation. It's not just boudoir photography; it's from a man's perspective, right?
That's right.
So maybe you can give us a brief understanding of what you're going to cover and some of the topics that you'll be teaching people during these sessions.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I would like to thank everybody, especially Brian, for giving me this opportunity to introduce my work to you. I have Diana next to me, who is my assistant in studio and also makeup artist and another creative brain in our studio that helps to create beautiful pictures and satisfy our customers. Okay, well, being in business for many years helped us to organize workflow in a way to be recognizable and have a style and be respected by many satisfied customers, and we're happy about it.
That's so important too. I mean, when you're making these images, you have to stand out, and you have to have some consistency and have some sort of identifiability to your work. I've seen your work before. I think it's excellent stuff that you guys do. It's very classy and artistic, and that's what I really respected about you coming to do these sessions. Sorry, go ahead. I babbled.
Well, thanks so much. Well, boudoir and maternity photography are not the easiest fields in photography business, and especially for men, as a photographer, taking pictures of ladies who have to trust you, right? And yeah, like, well, people learn how to trust you, and like by knowing many numbers of rules that we have to apply during our work. And I just wanted to highlight some topics that we'll cover during the presentation at the expo. So that's a mission for both photographers and model. So the second one, getting to know her. Artistic meaning of the session. Technical side, and how to make a client happy, basically how to complete your session and run successful business. So in mission for photographer and the client, we'll talk about the goals that we have to achieve during the session. Well, we have to know if we build our own portfolio or we're taking picture for the model who's working for the agency, and we have to find out what she basically wants from us.
So there's a lot that you have to learn from the person that you're shooting. It's not just about a vision that you have. It's about, you know, an interaction between you and the models and coming to the best shoot that's possible, right?
That's right. That's right. That's what it is, right? So then we have to know if she's taking pictures for her man, for her husband or boyfriend. Or
you know, I never even thought of that. Sorry to cut you off. I never even thought of that. So many women actually want these photos for their significant other. It's not just, you know, just a whim. They really want to make something impressionable, and they want to give their husband something nice or boyfriend, whatever. So that must be a big chunk of what you do.
Actually, this is one of the hardest parts, you know, like to make men trust the woman to come to photo studio to take the pictures of her.
Yeah.
Well, like, yeah, because you see.
Well, it
like,
must help having Diana there as well. I mean.
yes, actually, having lady assistant is a like huge part of a success. many ladies feel more comfortable if you have a lady assistant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna jump in since you're talking about me here. Usually, I come in on the session, and I prepare the model. I do her makeup, I do her hair, I make easy conversations, and then I'm gonna see if she's comfortable being with two people in the room, or she feels like too many eyes, I guess, on her.
Sure.
So I would just leave the studio and leave Stan to continue his work. But for me to be there at the first place, it's very crucial because the lady then feels more.
Yeah, because like you see, the relationship between model and photographer starts way before the session.
Mm-hmm.
So we meet before, we talk about it, we talk about session, her wishes, and what she'd like to achieve in a photo session, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes,
we talked about that in the past with Peter McKinnon when he was a guest on the show. One of the things he always talks about before he started a shoot was just have time just to talk and relax and get to know each other. It's not all about the photos, it's about the relationship that you foster. I guess that would be way more important with what you guys do.
That's right. Well, and, yeah, and one of the questions we always ask the model, if her second part, I mean, husband or boyfriend, will be happy with this photo session if he will know that the photographer is man, like a male photographer, right? Because we don't want to create any conflicts.
Ego can get in the way there for sure.
Yeah, and I was actually surprised that many men were happy to bring ladies for photo sessions. They wanted to see the result, and as soon as you can show them you work professionally and you're trusted by many people, it helps men, I mean husband of the model, right, to go easier for it.
Yeah, for sure.
But we shall apply rule number 1. We wouldn't want a male partner be in the room during the boudoir photo session because that makes feel uncomfortable everybody in the room.
Sure, yeah, 2 guys, that would just be very awkward.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you guys sound like you have a great system of working with your people.
Yes.
Well, we worked on it.
Yeah.
And as soon as we put everything on paper, created a system, it started working like way better before we had it in our head.
Organization is key with anything, absolutely. Well, we're going to talk more about that in just a few seconds, but there's something that's crazy that's been happening. I'm going to try and segue from boudoir and maternity to financial because how do you? I'm so confused now. But Phil, I know you were talking to me about something, and you told me that there's been some big upheaval in the financial market. Like, Phil is the financial advisor, so this is something I think that's pretty important to talk about. Maybe you can explain what you were trying to tell me.
Okay. Well, as everyone probably saw in the news or heard through something in the news on the last Monday, Tuesday this week, basically we had a slight issue in the global economy.
Slight
might be an understatement.
Yeah.
However, I don't like to play these things up as much as I think the news companies do. But late last week and at the beginning of last week, we saw a little bit of action out of China, and they ended up devaluing their currency and changing their interest rate to try and boost a slowing economy. And this turned around and I think scared the markets. So on Monday we saw a rather large drop in the Toronto market, the TSX, as well as a substantial loss in the U.S. and pretty much across the globe. On the opposite of what every basically news article seems to be saying, it's not the end of the world. Anyone who has really a longer time horizon or has a solid financial plan, this hiccup or correction shouldn't really have too big of an effect. Corrections like this happen every probably 3 to 4 years. Usually in a year we'll have 2 or 3 smaller corrections, so it's completely normal to happen. However, it is the biggest one that we've seen really since 2008, and I know a lot of the news places were maybe referring to it as this year's 2008, if that makes sense. However, 2008 was caused by something completely different than what happened here. So what I've been doing over the last couple of days was basically getting in touch with my clients and letting them know that everything is okay. And despite what seems to be happening, it's not the end of the world. Everything, if you have, a couple of years to, to sit, let's say, a year or 2 years, you should be back and well ahead of where you are.
So what you're saying is, for people who have made investments, they shouldn't freak out with their investments right now. They should be calm, just ride out the storm, and everything will balance itself back.
And a lot of time investing turns emotional, and people love it when they make money. And we always see it. You see when a market is low, it starts to go up and get valued better and better and better, and people start buying in. And then when the value hits the top, the market hits the top, that's when people start buying it the most. And then as soon as the market starts to slide back down, move from what's called a bull market to a bear market, we tend to see people sell off. And eventually when the market hits kind of a low point, that's where people do a lot of selling. And the irony is, the more you sell, the more it's going to have an effect. So people get really emotional and they start selling off when they shouldn't. And that basically means that they're selling off at a loss. And unless you have to, so unless you're retired and unless you're taking income from this and you have to sell part of your investment to get that income, then holding is the best course of action. And as long as you have, a solid kind of goal for what you want to get out of your finances, out of your investments, and as long as it still matches with whatever's inside of your financial plan, then you should be okay.
Nice. And if anybody has any questions, they should get a hold of you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have my office in Vaughan. I'm in Newmarket actually quite often. So if anyone had a question, we can always sit down and grab a coffee. Coffee's always on me, unless I spill it, and it's definitely on me. But before you decide to do any changes or anything like that, it is very important that you do speak to whoever your financial professional is, whether it's at a bank or it's an independent like myself, because they're the ones that can give you, hopefully the best advice for your particular situation.
Now, in the past, you've offered the Daytripper Photo community a little bit of an incentive.
Yeah, so that still stands. If anyone who doesn't have a financial plan and they want one, or they would like a second opinion on what they currently hold, and they want to see, is it recession-proof? Is it sitting somewhere that if this does go a little bit more south, is it going to be affected in a great way? Is it going to be affected in a bad way? We can definitely take a look, and I can do all that for people in the Daytripper community because you are part of it, because I like the Daytripper community at a no-cost basis.
That's awesome, dude. That's so cool. I really appreciate you doing that, and thanks for the information. And I'll calm down with my investments. I'll 25 cents of them.
Hey, you got to start somewhere, and
I know,
starting at $25 a month still puts you somewhere in the future.
That's what I'm working at, actually. It's literally the dollars I'm talking about in my life. But
that's okay. When I started, I did the exact same thing.
And now you've got millions of dollars.
I wish. I spent it on camera gear.
Welcome to our world, yeah. All right, well, Gabriel's not here yet, so we're going to kind of go a little further into the show. This is the point where I usually say, so, Gabe, how you doing? What's your week been like? But you know what? He's going to be awful quiet if I do that, and we'll get bored and waste a lot of time. So let's move along. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the photo review for your best photo. We have about 19 pictures to get through, actually 20. I saw Richard just posted one a few minutes ago. So we've got to kind of mosey along and get to these images. We will talk a little bit more with Stan and Diana and find out a little bit more about that whole scene, because I think there's some photos here that they can really give us some great advice on. But before we get into that, I just want to remind everybody, if you think the show is cool, if you like what we're talking about, please click like, subscribe, and share our show on YouTube or anywhere you want to share it. We would welcome the recommendations to the world. We have a great time doing the show. We've done 139 of them now, including tonight. So yeah, we're pretty serious about keeping the show going and having a good time doing it. So tell the world, people. Tell the world. Also, join the Daytripper Photo community. There's a lot of great advantages to doing so, not just getting to hang out and talk to Phil. There's a lot more. Although that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
It's like the Don Komarechka macro session I announced on the community, and it sold out before the show ended. And you know what? If you're not part of the community, you're going to miss out on these amazing sessions. So that's something to think about. I also want to recommend the LensPen product line, guys. These guys have been a sponsor for us now for a while, just about a year and a bit, and the work that they've done with us is fantastic. Last night, actually, at the Newmarket Camera Club, I gave a presentation on how to clean your camera sensor. Andrew, the show is always cool. Hi, everyone. Andrew was there at the presentation last night. on how to clean your camera's image sensor and how it's not that scary. And of course, I use the Lens Pen Sensor Clean Loop Kit. This guy here with the blower and the, yeah, I know, I gotta plug these things because they're awesome. Why wouldn't I? The sensor loop, which is all lighted and funky looking and helps you see things really well on your sensor and your pen. Yeah, I just blinded you. Sorry. The thing that's crazy, and the reason I'm going into talking about this for such a long time, is because one of the slides I showed in my presentation was a comparable product from a different brand, and the complete package was about $350. This kit's only $60. So if you want to keep your sensor clean, watch a YouTube video, buy this kit. That's all you need. It's pretty cool. Do you guys ever have sensor dust issues when you're shooting your maternity and boudoir stuff?
Yes, I did. Yes.
You did.
Yeah, I had that problem. Well, my camera shakes off the dust, but it didn't work once. I had a really nasty spot right in the face, and of course I did. I removed it in the Photoshop in the post-production, but going through 20 images with this spot in the same place.
Taught you a lesson.
Yeah, right? It's a bit annoying. So what did you do? How did you clean the sensor?
Well, I had the swaps, actually. What I've done, I'll open the camera, of course, had a fully charged battery. Well, I think number one you have to follow.
That's true.
Yeah, I had a swap. I just gently removed it.
Okay. And that worked well for you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
so
I'm pretty sure
sorry, what was that?
No, I'm pretty sure this cleaner that you showed, the cleaning kit, will work better for that.
I don't know. The swabs work well too. The biggest difference I think with the kit is that you have that LED loop where you can see every little particle, and it gives you a much better control of making sure that it is fully clean, right?
That's right. I was kicking that little particle back and forth before I actually picked it up and removed it. So
exactly. It's kind of frustrating. Let's just go to the Q&A for a second. For those of you who don't know, there's a part of this show called the Q&A, and if you click your mouse over the window, hover it, you're going to see along the left side it'll say Q&A. Click on that. And along the right side, you'll be able to type in questions, make comments, and just generally involve yourself in what we're talking about. And we're going to read those things like we're doing right now. First of all, Sean Johnston, hi there. Saw you last night too. Mark Flinders, greetings to all. Will there be a maternity and boudoir Daytripper session after the expo?
It'd be good if there was.
It's interesting. Now, I haven't talked to Stan and Diana about this, so I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, so to speak. But next year there will be something Daytripper's running called the Masterclass series, where we're going to help with promotion, and I would be involved as well in the sessions. And we're doing like we're doing with the Don Komarechka macro sessions that Mark actually took himself, and Phil actually registered for the next one on the last show. So this Masterclass series is something where we can consider potentially for next year. But let's not put the cart in front of the horse. We can talk about that off the show another time. But it's a good question, Mark. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Jennifer has a question. She says she has a lens pen question, which I can answer later. There is no later. Lost the cap to one of her lens pens. What does this mean? Well, it means you've lost the cap to your lens pen. That's all. Should I get a new one? Will it still work for a while? Eventually you will need to get a new one. The cap does have a little bit of a stash of carbon dust in there, so every time you put the cap back on, it re-energizes the lens pen. And it also keeps it from the dust wearing off of it just by being in your camera bag and getting everything in your bag dirty and dusty looking. Well, not dusty, just the black residue on some of those lens pens. So for now, my recommendation is just get a piece of maybe cellophane, saran wrap, whatever, wrap it around the tip of the lens pen as you store it. Just pull that off when you need it, and then get rid of the lens pen when the cloth goes completely dry. That would be my suggestion. What do you think, Phil?
I agree. The only thing I'd be concerned about with not having a cap would be picking up like a piece of sand or something abrasive and grinding it into the front of the lens.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
so just keep that protected.
Saran wrap and elastic band, I think it'd be perfect.
Awesome. And my little brother just wants to say hello, bro. Hey, Rick, how's it going? I say little brother. He's my size. He's really not small. He's a big kid. All right, so Rick, thanks for watching, man. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's get back to the show. Thank you, LensPen. Oh, guys, did you know that Jay Miller is like the coolest real estate guy I know, aside from Tony Colantonio, of course, because Tony's pretty awesome. But Jay Miller is a real estate agent in Newmarket area. He sponsors a lot of local activities and the big bandstand thing and down in the community center there. He's a big supporter of the arts. Well, he has already committed to his entire financial budget this year. So he wasn't able to really be a big sponsor for the expo, but he came to me specifically just to say, you know, I heard that you didn't get sponsorship for the expo, so I want to help in any way I can. So he's actually helping out sponsoring the expo, which is freaking awesome considering that his budget was already tapped and he just wants to help out. So thank you.
I think he was sponsoring Jazz Festival in Newmarket because
That's
I've
right.
seen his name
That's right.
there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's sponsored a lot of things, and I think it's pretty amazing that even though his budget's already been depleted, he still came to me specifically just to say, Brian, I love what you're doing. I want to help out, so I'm doing something for you. So thank you to Jay Miller, Real Estate. Awesome guy. Really appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. That's my whole speech about sponsorship, because love these guys for helping us out. We couldn't do it without them, so we really appreciate it. One last thing before we get to the photos. I know I've been blabbing and squirreling, but this right here, Asylum, I don't know if you guys have seen The Amazing Race Canada, but my buddies are on there right now, Matt and Nick. The wrestlers, the Flatliners, been following these guys since 2007, and they're finally, you know, doing some pretty cool stuff. And it's awesome what they're doing on The Amazing Race Canada. They've been third place. They're still kicking it, and yeah, my photos are even being used potentially on the September 2nd episode of The Amazing Race Canada. So watch Amazing Race, everybody. It's really a great show. The Canadian version, I think, is actually better than the American one. I love the host.
Of course.
That's it. You got it. And yeah, thanks, Andrew. It is pretty awesome news about Jay. He's just a great guy. Okay, so let's get into this, guys. Oh, wait. Can't. I did this again. I always get the cart in front of the horse. I did it again. Henry's Rentals also stepped up, and they're helping us out with the exposure show.
Nice.
The expo show. So yeah, so a lot of the gear that we're going to be using during the expo, Henry's Rentals is actually letting us use their stuff. So thank you also, Henry's, and to Jillian Stein, the new chief of Henry's. Congratulations to you, 4th generation Canadian-owned business, guys. Henry's. This is the 4th freaking generation.
Wow.
What a great business to work for. What a great company to work for, Henry's. I love these guys. I can't say it enough, but I will because we have to keep talking about other things. Okay, so. Photo review time, guys. We have lots of pictures to go through. For anybody who's watching in the Q&A, please give us your 2 cents as well. We're going to talk to the 3 other folks in the Hangout and myself and see how we do. First of all, Phil, you feel like doing the screen share?
I can.
Or do you want me to because I have it open already?
I'll get you to do it because it's open on my other computer right now.
Alrighty then. So let me just get down to where we left off last time, which was right there. Okay, cool.
Okay. I'm glad you know because on my screen it looks like it's all shuffled.
Oh, well, hopefully it won't be too shuffled.
Okay. Oh, it's just there. Yeah, the squirrel. Okay.
If I do this, yeah, you can see my notes and everything too. So let me do something quickly here. There we go.
That's what it looks like when I screen share.
It's hard to do this and see our notes at the same time. So let me.
If you hold on the tab for the Daytripper Photo Show pictures,
yes,
and you drag it down, it will pop out of Chrome and become its own window.
Yeah, I took the notes out separate. So
oh, that works.
I think we're okay. All right, cool. So here's the photos.
Okay.
We've left off with Maureen's photo. Remember, Phil?
Yep.
We talked about that one.
Yep.
We didn't yet talk about Jordan's picture.
Not yet.
Let's pull Jordan's image up here. There we go.
Okay.
So, beautiful shot. Nice red squirrel. I've always tried to get a good shot of a red squirrel, the critters in the backyard. It's the first, 10 years I've been shooting, which includes, until September 13th is 10 years for me, so I guess that's still now. I always try and get good shots of these little guys in the backyard. I gotta say, though, this is a really clear, clean shot. Great catch light in the eyes, nice and clear focus Jordan got here. And I love looking at the little hands on these things.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
What do you think, Stan?
Well, I really love this shot. You know, one of the first picture I took in Canada, it was a picture of this girl,
Oh,
high bar. It just, like brought me back in 2001. No,
I totally get it.
Yeah, this is lovely shot.
It's nice how he's able to get the nice shallow depth of field. The background pretty much disappears, although it kind of does look like the stick is ramming it in the head.
But I'm still looking like if it was focused on the eye, like it's a habit to see the portrait was taking, and focus, it's pretty much in the focus, right?
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, it seems like it works with animals as well, right?
It has to. And the catch light is key. Focus on the eyes. It's all key. Animals are people too. I don't know.
So this is a lovely shot.
Cool. Anything to add there, Phil?
No, I quite like it. The only thing is I'm not a giant fan of the square crop, but I think it works with this picture because it has enough empty space beside the squirrel to concentrate on the squirrel itself. And I know last week I was talking about not cropping things in a normal pattern.
Yeah, right.
But I like this one, and the fact pretty much the squirrel's perfectly sharp, and you just get just a little bit of softness on the back paw. I think it's really nice. I like it.
My only potential room of improvement in this, aside from the stick kind of being a little bit bright and it kind of leads right to his head, would be potentially put a gradient filter on the bottom on the log.
Okay.
Again, when we talk about looking at a photo, the way the human brain is wired, we're always going to look for what's brightest, and that log is brighter. So when we see the brighter log, it kind of pulls us down away from the squirrel a little bit. So just a slight darkening of the log would probably make a huge impact on the viewer's experience.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah. All right, so some of the things that we talk about, like it's not just, hey, love your shot, dude. We got to give you some critique, some potential room of improvement. All right, let's move along to the next one. Here we are.
As a side note, I agree with Andrew that animals are better than some people.
Oh, yes. Oh, you know what? The way I'm sharing this, I can't see the Q&A anymore.
That's okay. I can jump in on that if you'd like.
All right. Okay. Oh, okay. There it is. Some animals are better than people. Most animals are better than people, Andrew. That's just me. Sorry about that. Oh, somebody's popular.
Yeah.
It's all right. People are allowed to like you.
It was my alarm.
Oh, it was your alarm. I thought it was a phone call. Okay, so let's move on to the next shot here. Liz Barnes. I love when Liz submits photos. I do have a question about this, though. And my thought is that it might be either extremely cropped or from a point-and-shoot camera or a cell phone. Now, the reason I ask is like I know Liz has a DSLR, she knows how to use it, she does great stuff, but if we look really close at this, the pixelation that's occurring. You see that okay, guys?
Yeah, we see the picture.
Looks like little brush strokes. And when I see that, it kind of makes me think it's from a small camera sensor. Either a point-and-shoot or a cell phone.
Well, it works out to being about a megapixel image.
Okay.
So I'd say probably downsized for web.
Probably, yeah, that could be it.
Especially because we've lost all of the EXIF data, and even if it was like an iPhone, we'd still have most of the EXIF data.
True. But I love the cat, and to me, any picture of a cat's a good thing because that's just how I roll. Y'all know that.
Okay. Well, talking about the composition, I'm not a big fan of putting subject in the middle of the image, but what I found, like what works for me really well when I have to put a subject in the middle. So I put one of the eyes in the middle of the image, and it works pretty well. It gives you kind of more dimensional look for the image. If we could just move cat a little bit to the right, I think it will work a little bit better.
That's a good tip.
My personal opinion.
It's 10 o'clock.
It's 10 o'clock, apparently.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to turn them off, like all my devices.
It's 10 o'clock. Okay.
Time.
I should get one of those. It'll keep us on track. All right, Phil, anything to add?
No, I think we've pretty much covered it.
That was a good tip, actually. Keep the eye in the center, and that'll lead the other eye off to the side. That gives it a little bit different composition. But Liz, awesome. Thank you so much for submitting. And sometimes, you know, when we make our favorite photo, it's not about it being the best picture in the world. It's about being attached to that photo, and it's your favorite photo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's about the moment that you had with the image. Now, when we give a photo challenge, one of the things I always try to remind people is you are making a photo for the viewer sometimes, right? Like we all want to make photos for ourselves, and that's what's really important. But when you're making a photo for a photo challenge, you're submitting it to people to critique and to give their opinions on what they think is the best photo. So if it's a matter of us picking a picture, it has to connect with us as much as it connected with you. So sometimes you have to detach yourself from the fact of, I love the photo because it was important to me, and make it more about, you know, what are these folks going to think is the best picture? That's not the case here. The challenge here is your best photo, which implies the photo you love the most. So that's fine that you're submitting photos for this challenge. Whether we pick it as a winner or not is almost irrelevant. It's purely you showed us a part of yourself, and that's what I appreciate. So thank you, Liz, for submitting that photo, and think it's just awesome that you keep on submitting to us. So let's look at the next shot here. I've seen this shot before. I love this. It reminds me of, like, I just want to say, hey, dude.
Finding Nemo?
Yes, Finding Nemo, exactly. Okay, before we get into talking about this picture, Jennifer asks, what said it's 10 o'clock? I want one. What is that?
It's Stan's computer. You can't have it.
Well, yeah, I set it up on the Mac, so it tells me every half an hour what time is it. So, you know, when I activated this option, when I had to process about 1,500 images, like in a very small period of time, and I wanted to track myself because, you know, it's so easy. You know, like I have a coffee machine, I have this, and that. I had to put myself together, and I just decided to activate that option. And
so every half hour you get a notification.
That's right.
Okay, well, this could be a very entertaining show then. Ron says, nice picture, Liz, as well. Excellent. Thank you, Ron. And Jennifer says, Kitty, where's Dixie? You know what? There's only a memory of Dixie in the room right now. She was in a few minutes ago and used the litter box, and I'm still paying the price. So hopefully she'll be in here herself, but who knows? I think she's sleeping right now. All right, back to Layla's photo. So what I love about this shot, I mean, this was taken, I believe, with her point-and-shoot camera, an underwater point-and-shoot. Yep, AW110 Nikon. The clarity is fantastic, and she says the turtle got so close she had to push it away with her hand, which of course you're not supposed to touch turtles. But yeah, you know, this guy was a curious little, I don't know what kind of turtle this is. Do you guys know?
A sea turtle?
There you go.
I don't know.
It's in the sea. It's a sea turtle. It probably is, actually.
Well, there's more than, I think, one kind, but
there's only one sea turtle. Come on.
I gotta say though, like I like this picture for it being underwater. It has a surprising amount of actual color to it.
Mm-hmm.
You have the greens on the head, some different greens and oranges, a little bit of brown on the shell. It's awesome, especially for being shot with like an underwater camera. I think it came out really well.
Good light,
and especially for shooting underwater, which is, it seems like it would be an easier place to shoot than it is.
True. Well, then you have the different color tint, and it gives you bad white balance and all the other stuff. So,
and you get under 3 feet, you start losing color.
True.
Yeah,
that's
so
absolutely true.
If you're anywhere below basically 10, 15 feet, you just have shades of like blue.
And it gets darker.
I have an artistic opinion on that shot.
What's that?
I have an artistic opinion on that shot.
Okay.
Please go right ahead, Diana.
So the turtle looks so huge and so large, it's almost like magical, like from the fairy tale turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't tell that is like you can it looks like it's just gigantic turtle, and immediately arises in my head the stories about our Earth held by sea turtles, like in the past from the childhood. So for me, this image is magical.
That's awesome. That's a great way to see it. And I'm sure Layla would appreciate that view. That's really cool.
I like it. I really like that it's just a head in the shot because it makes the shot like magical. It's just huge because the ground you can see underneath, it looks like it's a forest or something. It's not the sea bottom, but like some sort of forest from far away.
Great interpretation. What I think is amazing is that you can still see that a turtle, even though it's underwater, in salt water, I would imagine, has eye goop. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know how that stays in his eye, but it's there. All right, so let's go to the Q&A for a quick sec. Mark says, great shot. It's a green sea turtle. That's what Mark calls it. I don't know if he's just, able to see colors and knows it's a sea turtle, or that's the actual kind of sea turtle. Andrew actually thinks it's a wet turtle. So
Possibly.
What's that?
Possibly wet.
Possibly wet, yeah. And if our marine biologist viewer has anything to chime in and let us know about exactly what kind of turtle it is, that would be very helpful. But in the meantime, let's move along. Thank you, Layla, for this shot. Let's see, what do we have next here? Michelle's photo. So here's my thought on this. First of all, I always love action and motion in a photo. For me, like sharpness and motion is a killer combination in an image. My only thought is it feels disjointed to me. Do you guys get that?
Yeah.
I think I can figure out where you're getting from. Like they have like half of him, part of the bike.
Yeah, one of the things that I've learned with composition, especially with human bodies, is you don't want to cut them off at a joint. And this is cut right off at the waist. If there was a bit more torso or even the front of the bike in the shot, it would be a little bit more inviting. Does that sound right to you guys?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I like the negative space. I like the space on the right side. Like we can follow the smoke coming off the wheel, but maybe the crop would be like bring it a little bit closer to make it more close-up shots for like seeing legs and wheel smoking.
Yeah, either go closer or maybe possibly go wider.
Yeah, wider.
Either way, maybe a 16:9 crop might work.
Okay.
But yeah, there's just something a little disjointed, and I think Stan says it too. If either you get real close and you're just seeing the tire and the smoke coming off with the negative space, that would be a different image as well. But being cropped at the waist like that, it's just feeling like I don't know what his top half is doing. I want to see more.
But this is definitely like very dynamic shot. Like it tells a story. It gives you feeling.
Oh, the hands are missing too, right? So maybe that's why we're missing parts of the body as well.
Sure. Yeah, the hands. I mean, that's important to see what's going on. So, okay, sorry, the Q&A for a quick second. Mark says that's the kind of turtle it is. It's a green turtle, green sea turtle.
Okay.
But Jennifer also agrees that the turtle is wet.
We're still on the turtle.
Yeah, we're still on the turtle. This is the way the chat goes. It's a little bit behind. So we tried doing a live show, like a Jeopardy game show, and it was a miserable failure because there's a delay with the chat. So usually when the chats come in, it's a couple seconds behind. We're usually on another photo, so we gotta play it that way. But great shot, Michelle. Anything else to add before we move along, guys?
No, I think we've covered it all. I like the dynamicness of the shot. You got the spinning of the wheel, you got the smoke, but it's still it's slow enough that you see the motion, but it's fast enough that it's not just not all a blur. Right.
It's that perfect choice of shutter speed. I agree. Settings-wise, I think this was a bang-on shot. I kind of want to see a little bit more about the rider, or a little bit less.
It gives you a little bit space for your imagination. What's going to happen to this guy later?
But look at this, how the smoke actually wrapping the wheel. That's interesting. Yep.
Yeah, that is so cool. Like, there's no doubt about it that right there is so cool.
Yeah.
I've seen the videos about these kind of actions, but I never actually paid attention how smoke goes around the wheel. Wow.
Pretty neat, eh? And even the dirt and stuff coming up off the ground below there. It's a very powerful shot for sure. I'm curious about the crop. But I'm sure Michelle has a lot of other shots from that day that she could share. She says the challenge of determining the best photo is too great, so instead she submits her favorite photo. She's currently going through an action photography phase, and it is the season to be up on 2. What? It is a season to be up on 2. Okay. So far, your best photo. Here's a stunt rider mid burnout. So very cool. Very cool stuff. All right, let's move on to the next one. This one here is Joseph's photo of a cardinal. Now, I don't know about you guys. I have tried to get the best cardinal photo in the world, and I end up getting a dark blur, no detail in the eye. It's always very difficult because they're such a small little bird. They're so fast, and reds are hard to shoot to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Like red is a very easy to oversaturate kind of shot. So great job for Joseph getting such clarity here. Nice catch light in the eye, and it's like you were saying, Stan. You know, you have to have good sharpness in the eye, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing you see, right?
And there you go.
That's awesome.
That's lovely.
Anything either of you would like to say? All three of you?
I like the shot. I think the detail through all of the small, like fluffy little bits of feather. It's very nice. It almost looks like a painting.
Mm-hmm.
I would submit to National Geographic. That's what I want to
There
say.
you go.
I like the curiosity of this bird. You know, it's not just a bird like looking straight at the camera, but kind of wondering who's that person taking picture of me, like posing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. It's almost like they're having a connection. I do have to say here, Joseph, I just noticed, gives me some credit. He says, Brian Weiss deserves some credit, as I remember dropping by Henry's one day explaining my dilemma, and he offered some ideas. Hey! Winning. Up on 2. Oh, 2 wheels on a motorcycle. Thanks,
That
Michelle.
makes sense.
That makes more sense now. I'm sorry, I'm
Crazy
not on the
good
lingo.
detail.
But up on 2, Michelle just clarified, means 2 wheels on a motorcycle. Up on 2 wheels. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm stupid. And Byron says, cardinals are crazy hard. Byron's actually been a part of our Birds of Prey sessions. The bigger the bird, I think the easier it is to get a nice shot, although it's never easy to get a bird photo. But yeah, cardinals have always been a challenge for me for sure. Bonnie says, I love this cardinal photo. Great color, and it really makes you wonder what the bird is thinking. Great job. That's what you were saying, Stan. You know, it gives you could read into the bird's mind in a photo like this. It's very cool. And Michelle continues, as opposed to up on 1, which I will never do. Oh, up on 1. Yeah, no, I don't think I would only do that by accident. It would be a very funny sight to see me go up on 1, because then I'd be up on my head in a second after that. Joseph's bird photos are always amazing, Michelle says. I agree. Joseph does a great job. He spends a lot of time out trying to shoot the birds with a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Great job. Okay, so let's see here. I think we're good. You guys have anything else to add?
No, it's just a beautiful shot.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful shot.
I cannot see clearly. What was the focal length of the lens?
Oh, let's see here. Pull up the photo details. That was shot at 200 millimeters.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it gives more credits, I guess, to get like still the photographer had to come like close enough to that bird.
Well, this was also shot with a D7100, which is a crop sensor camera. So 200 was more like 350 probably, or 320, I think that is.
Okay.
So it is a little bit tighter in than it would be on a full frame. Not that we need to get into that because it is what it is. But yeah, I shot at f4, 360 ISO. I love this Google stuff. You can find out all this information. All right, let's move along. Let's see what else we have here. Martin's photo.
Oh, lovely.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this is one of those shots where you can look at it and just either if you've been to a cottage, remember those times, and if you haven't been to a cottage, really want to have those times. I just love the fact that there's nice exposure on the pier itself, on the dock, but their sun isn't too blown out. There's a lot of detail around the clouds and in the sky. What do you guys think?
It looks like it's floating. Again, with my artistic opinion, it looks like there's no water. It looks like it's just in the air, and it gives that airy, even more pleasurable feeling to the
Yeah,
picture.
the mist really helps that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of composition?
I love the composition actually, and well, the horizon line is a little bit lower, but you know sometimes you have to break the rules, right? So to give a certain feeling. I mean, I love this image. Overall, I'm looking at it and I like it. There's nothing to add, I guess.
No, I agree with that.
For me, a little bit too much of the sky on top, but I don't know if it would crop lower, I don't know if this image will look as good as it looks now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. I mean, you could always take a 16:9 crop on a photo like this too, but I see why Martin would leave the clouds in. Having that detail on the top kind of gives a border to the top of the photo.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
Yeah,
stops your eye from just escaping and keeps you down. It's nice. I like how Julie says you should hang this on your wall. Martin says it is on my wall, Julie. That's great. Martin does do some printing, and it's really great to see when people take images like this and do put them on their wall. I've only got one photo on my wall, and it's a picture I took in 2007. So I think I'm due for some new works up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should challenge ourselves on one of our shows is to do some prints. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
That's something we'll do in the future. And Andrew says, great shot. Looks like something out of a tourism brochure. I agree.
It does.
Beautiful photo, Martin. Excellent stuff. All right, let's look at Sean's image here.
Oh, a bug.
Bug. All right. Well, yeah. Sean was a part of one of our macro classes with Don Komarechka, and he's been extremely inspired to get into macro photography. One of the things I really like about this is the fact that the light really gave it almost like a rim light along those little hairs on its head.
Oh yeah.
Get in here.
That's awesome.
It's not something that you see on a grasshopper too often. It's like a little rim light.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. I'm gonna zoom back out right now.
Very hairy head.
Oh, God.
Great image. Let's move on.
We might just have to do that. Very clear shot. Excellent exposure with the flash. Everything, the great detail you get when you use flash is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the fact that the background elements just disappears. You know,
Yes.
just low ISO, fast shutter speed, small aperture. All those things combine to give you a nice blacked out background, which isolates the critter you're trying to see and really draws your attention to what you're looking at. Now, Sean, I'm going to be picky, and sorry, Diana, got to do this. The eye. Stan and I, we've been talking about this through the whole show. The focus on the eye isn't quite perfect. It's more on the front of his...
I think it's very hard to focus on the eye of such a small creatures.
It is very hard, but you know what? Sean is trying hard to get that perfect. So, one thing you can do, stack a photo like this. Do a focus stack and get focus at different points. Do the sway, which we learned at Don's session, where you just kind of sway back and forth and take multiple photos and stack them together. But you know what, Sean? I'll let it go this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's all right, Sean. Don't cry. Sean's a good friend of mine, so I can say stupid stuff to him. Also, one last thing I just want to mention in this shot, but I totally forgot what it was, but it's in my notes, so let's go to it. Oh yeah, sometimes it pays not to cut the grass.
Oh, there you go.
That's one of the comments he made, is he was supposed to cut the grass, but then he saw the grasshopper, so he went and got his camera instead.
Right.
Die hard. All right, cool.
It's looking at the camera.
It's looking at the camera. Everything looks at the camera. Camera's a very interesting thing. You ever notice that? As soon as you hold the camera up to something, it's like stare. Especially with my cat.
Our clients turn away, okay? We wanna make sure.
I will ask them not to look at the camera like full time.
That's probably smart, or else, yeah. One of my pet peeves is pictures of just faces looking at a camera. So. But that's okay. Let's look at this shot here. Byron Sheldrick's photo. Now this is actually taken on one of our day trips. This was shot on our previous Waterfalls North session in the spring. I love the detail. I love the color. I love the contrast that Byron got in this shot. The choice of shutter speed. Everything about this shot except for two things. And those two things are the little greenery down here, which is brighter than the rest of the photo. And you guys know what I'm saying about when things are brighter, it draws your eye away. Right?
Yeah, you pointed out. That's all you see.
Exactly, right? So as soon as you notice that, and that kind of goes along with this little bit of greenery right here, it's kind of unnecessary. And one of the things that we always try and remind ourselves in composition is if it's not necessary, if it's not adding to the photo, it's taking away from the photo. So to me, those little bits there don't really add to the shot. They kind of draw your eye away. Now, a simple fix for this would be simply rotating the photo. because to me it almost looks like the water's going uphill along the left side. Do you get that as well? Yeah, so if you
Yeah.
take it and
It
do
does.
it,
It kind of looks like that.
yeah, so if you kind of tilt it counterclockwise a little bit, it would actually crop out those little bits on the bottom and make the water look like it's flowing more downward.
I
Yeah,
agree
then
with
the
that.
waterfall will look more natural, I guess, right? So if we'll, yeah, if we'll turn it this way, yeah.
Well, ultimately though,
Again, that's my personal opinion. I would go with a little bit faster shutter speed to show a little bit more details. But again, like I believe it was made in purpose to give you that feeling of running water and.
yeah, that's actually one of the things that we were really going into on that session was controlling a camera for the longer exposures and so on. I love the look of the longer exposure, and then this is ultimately, as you say, it's your personal opinion, and it's mine as well. And that's the beauty of photography is you can pick and choose what effect you're trying to get. And that's the beauty of a shot like this is it shows that Byron really had control of achieving that specific look. It's not overexposed.
But you know what's interesting? Usually the sharpest subject in a photo brings your attention, right? But in this case, all my attention in all that little waterfall in the bottom right.
Yep.
So that's interesting. Like I was a little bit confused from the beginning, but I love that feeling.
That's cool. That's a great way to say it, actually, and that's I think a really good sign of an interesting photo is something that not confuses you, but makes you think a little bit more, makes you stare a little bit longer.
That's right. That's right. I'm just staring at this waterfall on the bottom right, and that's it. Like.
Actually, Byron's watching right now, and he says he expected me to say that. So glad I didn't disappoint you, buddy. And he says it's a cool fix. He's going to try that. So that'll be interesting to see. And you know what, Byron, if you like the way it turns out, maybe you can share it to the community, and everybody can see the before and after, and get a full experience from this. Very cool. All right, let's move along. We've got lots of more pictures to look at. And it's about 10:22. All right, let's talk about Terry's photo. The negative space on this is really interesting. It's all sky, and just that nice lower third is where that little tiny abandoned house is. Of course, you guys know me. I mean, I'd be trudging across this field to get to that place and take some pictures in there. And Phil, he'd be climbing to the top of the building there and hanging off the rafters like a monkey. So
always doing the safest thing.
Exactly. Oh, guys, one day I'm going to tell you the story when Phil hit his head on an air conditioning air conditioning unit. But that's for another time. All right. So what do you guys think of this, Stan? What are you thinking?
Well, I definitely like minimalism. So I was trying to apply it even in portrait photography, and I'm a big fan of this image. I'm a big fan of this image. And again, a horizon line I would put a little bit higher, but I think it's done in purpose. So I love this image as well. So
very cool.
I'm a big fan of this image.
For me, obviously, I'm lacking a lot of decorations here and set deck, and there's nothing going on for me.
So there's no tell that house.
I'm a person liking colors and busy pictures.
That's fair. That's totally fair. So what we could do is I will go with Christmas lights and decorate the house for you. And no, I'm being silly. But I totally get that. And it is a very minimalist type of photo. And I think it's really cool that Terry chose this as his favorite photo. What do you think, Phil?
The only thing I don't like about this picture, and it kind of falls into that bright area, but in this case it's just an opposite area, is that little patch of green in the bottom corner.
Which corner? The bottom right?
Yeah, the bottom right. I think it's attracting my eye more than the building is. And so I think if it was cropped a little bit to get rid of that, or if you want to go all Photoshop on it and just
on the color on the picture.
I think it might work without that. I'm not sure. It's just my opinion. Is I like it more direct on the building itself, showing that there's really nothing around it. It's just
so do a crop up about here.
Either that, or maybe a I don't know how well it would work over a space that large and directly in a corner, but maybe like a healing patch over it, just to get rid of the idea of, something happy and living.
No, that's valid. And Terry, he's watching as well. He says raising the horizon line would show the road. I was kind of thinking that as well. I agree with what Stan was saying about the third being maybe raised a bit. But my first thought when you said that was, I bet you there's road in the way that would stop that from happening. And that's what Terry has said. It makes sense. But a simple little clone like Phil suggested, maybe in the bottom corner here, would fill that gap and kind of keep the eye more fluid through the shot. Yeah, food for thought. Either way, I think it's a really nice, clean shot, and I do really like the minimalist approach that Terry took here.
Yes, it's nice. It's a good way of showing, a different perspective to what you might normally shoot with an abandoned building.
It really gives that sense of loneliness, like this little house in the middle of nowhere. But I think, actually, Phil, your point of cloning that bottom corner would make it feel more in nowhere, because when Stan mentioned raise the horizon, I saw that patch there and I thought it must be close to the road. So I don't know, maybe it'll work either way. See what you think, Terry. You're the boss man. This is your image, and I'm sure I like it a lot. He says it's one of his favorites. How can it be best when all our photos are so wonderful, straight out of camera? Of course, right? We all have the most amazing photos in the world. Well, to us. That's okay. So here's one of Mark's shots.
Oh my goodness.
So what do you guys think? I'm going to let you guys talk about this first.
I like this picture. I like that, he's got the flow kind of going down the left side of the barrels. And I don't know where this would have been shot, somewhere I'm imagining rather old. But the thing I noticed is rather grainy.
Yeah, 1600 ISO.
Which normally wouldn't be too bad, but it's just the color of the grain, I think, is distracting away from the older feel of the building. But other than that, I quite like it.
Cool. What do you guys think?
Well, is this grain just like digital noise or grain like film look? I'm sorry, I cannot see it well.
I'd say it's digital noise. It was shot on a D50. Now, to be fair, there's nothing wrong with the D50, just not as great at handling the higher ISOs.
It's true. CCD sensors generate a lot more heat, and that was one of the older Nikons that generated that heat. But ultimately, the grain, to me, adds something to the photo. I think it gives a bit of mood. The fact that it is old gives it a bit of timeliness to it. Or no time to it, I guess you could say. My only thought was the white balance is a bit yellowy.
I'm seeing two different pictures, to be honest. I'm seeing one on my main monitor and one on my laptop. And the one on my laptop looks more orange, and then the one on what I'm imagining is your screen is a lot more yellow. So I would say, yeah, it's a bit on the yellow side, and if it was brought back to being a bit more maybe orange, I think it would be a lot warmer and a lot kind of more antique feeling. However, it could be a monitor thing. Now, my laptop is terrible, so I'm maybe going to give its color to just the fact that my monitor's not that great, because my main screen is significantly better.
Well, let's go with the main screen. But still, I do think that a little white balance tweak might make a huge difference in the feel. But I love the shot. I think it's a great moody shot.
I like it. All right. Sorry, guys, I got to pop out for a sec.
Okay, sure. Oh, this is the Marksburg Castle in Germany. Oy, Germany.
Well, generally, I'm a big fan of wine cells. So, yeah, and if you put together the barrels, which are maybe, I don't know, 50 years old or so, if you put together the grain and that antique look, so it gives you that feeling, of very valuable photo. I love it.
Yeah, excellent job, Mark. Really interesting. And, this is a shot that he shot a while ago. This is 2009. It's really nice when we go through our older photos and we find stuff that we really, really like. I found that some of my older photos are my favorites. He has this printed on canvas, actually. It looks great. So great. His mother-in-law took it. Oh, jeez. Great. I know your mother-in-law. She's pretty cool. She's allowed to have it. So, all right, let's move along. Thank you, Mark, for that. Let's check out the next image. Oh, what just happened? Here we go. And there we are. Charity's photo. Okay, so my little brother actually just made a good comment. He says he mentioned that he printed it on canvas, which would do a nice job of minimizing the noise grain. It's absolutely true. Printing on canvas, those older prints, it actually helps the shot sometimes. So great choice there for sure. And Sean likes the color. He kind of adds a sepia tone kind of thing. I always think it's funny when I hear sepia, because sepia was originally taken from cuttlefish ink, which is interesting to me. Cuttlefish, of all things. My old budgie used to use cuttlefish to sharpen its beak, but now I'm sidetracking like crazy. So let's take a look at this shot here. Charity's photo. Yeah, you're welcome, Mark. Mark submitted a photo of a flower, a focus stacked flower, to our cohort in the Arcanum. Just going to sidetrack for a quick second. And one of the things that you get on a critique like ours is some encouragement, but we're trying to give you some room for improvement. On the photo that Mark submitted for the Arcanum, it ended up being like, you know, you're back in school and your teacher takes a little red ink and circles every little imperfection. The critique you get in the Arcanum is so much deeper in scale that I feel like we have to give some of that at least during our conversations here so that you get some benefit from us blabbing on about stuff. All right, let's get back to the screen share here. All right, you guys see that okay?
No. Yes.
No? Yes, there it is. All right, cool. So here's a photo from Charity. What do you guys think of this picture? Stan, I'm going to let you start on this.
I have a question. Was the hue of the reflection and sky changed in post-production? Because like the difference is very big. I mean, the colors of the sky and the sky's reflection in the river or lake. Sorry, hard to say. I like my personal opinion. I would bring it closer to each other to balance it up a little bit. And,
I agree.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. I actually think
no, that's fine. That probably that's the only thing that bothers me, or maybe you know like cut off a little bit of sky from the top. But yeah, the color of the sky, like that's what bothered me.
Well, it's extremely different. The color of the sky and the color of the water is extremely different. You're absolutely right. Phil, what do you think?
I'm just taking a closer look at this picture. I agree that there is an odd kind of shift on that. That we have that nice, rich blue, detailed sky in the water, but then not a huge amount of detail up in the sky. But all in all, I like this picture. I like the canal, maybe? I'm not sure. It kind of brings your eye through the shot.
Mm-hmm. I have a few thoughts.
Okay.
First of all, one of my thoughts is Charity needs to come and see me.
Oh, yeah.
And clean up that sensor. Or, you know, pick up the sensor clean kit for only $59.99. No, sorry. But my main thought on this is something that Martin taught me a long time ago. I showed Martin Ingalls, who's going to be another one of the speakers at the expo on travel photography, is a coworker of mine at Henry's, and he teaches at the School of Imaging. And whenever you want a critique, to actually get a critique, talk to Martin, because he will tell you exactly.
It might not be nice, but he'll tell you.
Exactly. One of my photos I shot, he looked at it, he says it looked like 3 separate photos. And I'm looking at it like, what are you talking about? 3 photos? No, it's only one. I saw this huge field and this stuff in the background and this stuff. Oh, right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So what I see here is actually 2 images. You have the image without the bottom, which is basically the trees in the sky, which obviously isn't exactly this. It would have to be a different crop. Maybe just, you know, put your hand over the bottom of the shot. And then you have the image which is just the bottom, the reflection and the ground on the bottom, which I'm really having a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Like that, right? Mm-hmm. So there's two separate images here, and I think the sky being so bright detaches it from the rest of the shot. So either use a gradient filter if you want to keep it the way it is and bring your brightness on the top down to match the bottom, or do a different crop where the sky is maybe removed or the ground is removed, because that patch of grass here at the bottom is a photo in itself, in my mind. And then the fact of this is a landscape shot cropped as a vertical. So usually if I'm just taking pictures of like these things down here, just the weeds and stuff coming up, a vertical really works well. If I'm trying to give a bigger feel, then I would want to go more landscape, but maybe that just didn't work in this location. That's my thoughts. What do you guys think of those points?
I agree.
I agree.
Cool.
But overall, you see, like I'm always trying to think what feeling I have when I look at the image, and what photographer was trying to tell me, and what story stands behind the image, and it brings me to that place actually. I have a feeling that overall I enjoy the place.
That's
so,
cool.
All the little tweaks with the colors or crops.
Something to think about, Charity, and great advice. Okay, Bonnie says, what was the name of the school type of critique place? Are you talking about the Arcanum? The Arcanum is an online photo mentoring program that I'm a part of. My master is Don Komarechka. There's Ron Clifford. There's a lot of different people who are involved in this Arcanum. It was originally created by Trey Ratcliffe, and it's just basically like an online photo mentoring program, which is really helpful for people who are looking to up their game a little bit. So when we have these critiques in the Arcanum, they aren't friendly. They are, well, they're friendly because everybody's friendly, but they're meant to be more to improve your photography, to take you to the next level in your own personal journey of photography. So, yeah, if you're asking about that, Arcanum, A-R-C-Anum. Arcanum. Easy to spell. There you go. Check it out. Or just type Trey Ratcliffe Photo Mentoring or Ron Clifford. You'll find it all that way, too. Okay, so thank you, Charity, for that. Do you guys have anything else to add?
No, we covered it all.
Awesome, cool. So now we're going to move on to a tearjerker. This one here was from Rachel.
Oh, so cute.
I know, it is so cute.
Oh,
so
I would move the hair a little bit away from the face. That's the only thing, I think.
I'm going to have to say on this shot here, understanding the little backstory and how it was just a quick snapshot and captured a moment, and then 3 days later the dog passed away.
Aww.
I mean, I am an animal lover. I am a cat person, a dog person, you name it. I would rather see a human get hurt than any kind of animal. And the sad look in this little puppy's face, he's happy to be with somebody he trusts and loves. It's just one of those moments that I wouldn't even think to ask to improve on it.
No.
You know what I mean? Just knowing the story behind it. If I didn't know the story behind it, yes, that makes sense to move the hair away, to see her face a little bit more, maybe add some little fill light up on the side, not Phil Zerato light, actual light to catch in her eyes. Sorry, I have to go there. Yeah, it's a beautiful photo, and it's a very touching moment, and what a cute little puppy.
Very cute.
Now, there is something I would do. Possibly, it could be just a reflection or something, but I would check your sensor. Because there's a dark circle in the lower right corner, which, as it's showing up on something nice and bright, I'd say could also be sensor dust. A really big piece of it, but sensor dust nonetheless.
Very well could be.
And you can get rid of that if you wanted to afterwards, just clone and heal.
That's a good point. Yeah, that is a little blob down there, which could be a bit distracting. It's super easy to fix in post. Yeah. Anything to add there, Stan, Diana?
Well, I love this image, and I'm just staring at the dog's eye, and I believe it was a focus point, right? So it drags your attention there, and makes you feel the emotion. You're right, and like you see the sadness of this little dog, and what's interesting, right? It's almost in the middle of the image, but the composition is awesome, and I like it a lot.
You know, these are one of those photos that I might even think in the back of my mind to crop it in a bit like this kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I still like it like that, Stan.
Yeah.
I do. I agree with you. I still like having a little bit more in the frame, and it gives a little bit more space, and it's not distracting. There's a nice little vignette that doesn't, you know, it keeps your eye in the shot.
I'm just still looking at it and just.
So actually, I just got a text from Rachel. She's watching from her cell phone, so she can't join the Q&A. She says she shot this with her old camera, so she does have a new camera now. So I'm sure the sensor is just fine now, Phil.
Yeah, it takes care of that sensor problem. That's it. You know, I think that's the best way to do it. Is anytime you get a dirty sensor, just throw it out and get a new one.
Exactly, and I work at Henry's, so come and see me, and I will sell you a new camera every time your sensor's dirty. Yeah. Andrew says he loves the backlighting in this shot. I agree with that. The light coming through the window and giving a nice light. Seeing the little paws here lit up on the lady's chest. It's just very, very beautiful shot. Thank you, Rachel. I'm looking at my cell phone now, and I'm saying thank you, Rachel, because she's talking to me on my cell phone. Very cool. All right, let's move along. We might actually get through this, guys. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going to get through this all right.
Okay.
So Charity submitted this. Now, this is a second shot from Charity, so we won't spend too long, but I do want to quickly touch on it. This is a shot that she says she took this in Algonquin. She's very proud of it, as it made it to the special weather banner for Tom Brown on CTV News Toronto.
That's
See,
cool.
I love that when one of our images is used for media and for all these different reasons. I'm just like bursting over the moon that the Amazing Race wants to use my pictures of the flatliners, which I think is so cool. There doesn't necessarily mean, though, that we can't improve on the photo. The texture in her face, for some reason, it's just a little bit too contrasty. And that's probably something I'd remove a little contrast on if I were to put this up on my wall, or else over time it might end up looking a little bit blotchy. But other than that, great shot. But since this is your second photo, let's keep moving along to the next one out of respect to time, if that's okay. So here's a shot from Glenn.
I love it.
I like it.
Immediately, right? As soon as you see it, it's just like, wow, look at this owl staring right at you. To get the focus on the eye is hard. To get the focus on the eye when he's flying past you at 300 miles an hour is something totally different.
Okay, got it.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen an owl fly, but it is the coolest thing. They make no sound at all.
It
just
scared me once. Like all just flew from my back, and I was screaming like it's like ghost. You know, like you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
You hear nothing.
I've actually seen an audio recording with audio wavelengths of all kinds of different birds and then an owl. All these other birds have a definite sine wave when they fly past, and every time they swoosh their wings. An owl makes no sound. And they can just come up on you before you even know it. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Glenn, great shot. It was minus 24 degrees. He spent an hour studying the hunting pattern of this female snowy owl. Once he knew where she would fly next, he positioned himself to get the profile image he wanted and waited. You know what? Boom. Sold. Good job. Yeah. You take your time to learn the pattern of the animal. You position yourself in a specific position to get that shot with the background the way you want it and the profile shot the way you want it. That says a lot about the dedication that somebody has in this kind of stuff. So excellent job there, Glenn.
Very
Something
nice.
to add there, Phil?
No, I like it. I like his crop, keeping the bird on the one side, leaving room on the opposite side of it to you know, fly into the picture just to keep a proper balance.
I agree. It kind of makes me think of George of the Jungle. George of the Jungle, watch out for that tree! Ah! Watch where you're going, Al. You're going to hit a tree. Sorry.
I gotta say, you know, trying to study what you're shooting is very clever.
Yes, absolutely.
An amazing preparation. I would be probably chasing the animal with the camera, be frustrated why it's not a great picture.
It's very true. You know, that's your instinct. It's just to get up and follow where the bird's going. But Glenn sat back and he watched where it was going and just positioned himself and let the bird do what it was doing, and turned out to be a great, great shot.
Mm-hmm.
It actually could be a great tip for some of the clients that we have photographing. Just wait until they position themselves comfortably.
You know what?
Picture them looking comfortable.
Especially if they're paying you by the hour, right? Just take your time. Have another drink. It's okay. We'll get to this in a minute.
Or just put a hidden cameras and leave the room.
Yeah. I don't know if hidden cameras for maternity or boudoir shots the way to go. But look, Diana's punching you now. What are you thinking, man? All right, sorry. Let's move along. Excellent stuff there, Glenn. This one, it's the second photo from Mark. We can't really talk about it too much other than to say, look how young you looked, Phil.
That was many years ago.
This was
a few 4 years ago.
2011. This was on our Northwood Zoo day trip. And Phil was communicating, doing the Vulcan mind trick on a camel? Is that what you're doing?
I don't know. I think so.
That's another way of preparation for taking a picture of the animal. You just hypnotize them first.
Exactly. Well, I don't know if I ever saw the photo you took of the camel after this, Phil, but I'm sure it must have been pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and look.
Very cool. Thanks, Mark, for sharing that one. Roger, this is a really interesting shot.
Oh, my God.
You don't often get close enough to get shots like this, do you?
Nice.
Expression.
The clarity, the detail in the eyes. Let's see if we can get in there any closer. Oh, yeah, we can.
Yeah, it's definitely sharp. The tip of the beak's soft. It's good.
So this was actually shot. Now, this is... All right. Tell me this is real. The Canon 70D, sorry, not Nikon, Canon 70D with an 18 to 55 kit lens, guys. This is a kit lens. I love it. I love it. You know what? We tell people all the time, oh, it's just a kit lens. You have to buy L-series lenses. Well, I shouldn't say I tell people that because I'm a believer of if you know how to use your tool, you're going to get good results. And they're not going to put out a lens these days that's absolutely crap.
Talking about animals.
Oh. That's so
She wants attention now.
What's your dog's name?
Stella.
Bella?
Stella.
Fella?
Stella.
Oh, Stella, like the beer. Okay, cool.
Almost.
Almost. Well, it's funny. I'm glad that Stella's not doing this, but when Dixie comes into the room, she jumps on my shoulders and lays across me like a scarf. So.
Actually, we have the same cat. Looking the same, yeah, as yours.
Oh, you have a tuxedo cat?
Yes.
Oh, very cool. What'd you name it?
Lucky.
Lucky. Did you find it under a car?
No, she came from a friend. She had it already. Yeah.
Awesome. Sorry, we sidetrack really easily when it comes to pets. So. All right, let's get back to the image here. Sorry, Roger. Totally stealing your thunder. So, guys, again, kit lens, 18 to 55. One of the cool things that you got to do when you use your camera is see the difference it makes when you're zoomed in all the way versus all the way wide angle. If this was shot at 18 millimeters, there would be so much detail in the background, it would be distracting. Mm-hmm. So having this shot at 55 millimeters, it's the far end of that lens, flattened your depth of field, which made the beak and the background softer than the eyes, which really draws attention to the eyes. Anything else to add there, Phil?
No, I think you got the idea with zooming in, foreshortening, shrinking down your depth of field. It's I like the shot. It's really nice. And not that there's anything wrong with an 18 to 55, but I'm pleasantly surprised.
I know, it's true. Okay, so now Jennifer's saying that Dixie should meet Stella via video chat.
Sure, we'll make a separate room for them.
That wouldn't be too bad to leave the cameras on and just walk away. That wouldn't be so bad. All right, sorry. All right, Roger, great stuff. This is a red kite, apparently, and shot with your kit lens. Did a phenomenal job. Kept the ISO nice and low at 100. Perfect shutter speed for handheld of a bird just sitting there doing its thing. Good job. Very well done. All right, we're almost there, guys. We've got 4 more photos left. Let's talk about Andrews. Sorry for keeping you guys a little bit late tonight. Figure we might as well get through these. We can't make another show for them, so we'll push our way through. What do you guys think of Andrew's shot here? Stan, why don't you start?
Again, that's my personal opinion. I don't really like that fishing rod breaking up with the sun. And yeah,
Horizon.
the horizon is kind of
Crooked.
down.
Yeah, that was my thought. The horizon, maybe just
the horizon, yes.
a leveling of the. I'm doing hand gestures. Can you see my hand gesture? I'm straightening things with my hands. Doesn't work. Sorry. All right. Yeah. So you think that the fishing rod is blocking the sun is a negative?
I'm not a big fan of it, to tell the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And the horizon should be leveled up.
Okay. Phil, what do you think?
I agree with that. And I can't tell on my screen. I can't really make it that large. I don't have a huge screen down here. But I am curious to know where the focus is, if it's on her or the background.
It's actually on the water.
Okay.
Yeah. And, this is one of those moments that I think it's a beautiful photo. And I think if I were out with Shelly and I took this picture, I'd be extremely happy. The horizon, yes, I agree. The horizon should probably be straightened. As far as the fishing rod and the eyelet of the sun, I can see what you were doing there, Andrew. I think that's going to be a personal preference or not. But before we go any further, there is something important that I have to do. So I've been paid a visit. Dixie. So Jennifer, here's Dixie. There you go. And now I don't think she'll want to sit up on my shoulders right now because she's in play mode. Yeah, she bites. Oh, see there, she punches too. So I'll have to put her down in just a second. But okay, faster than a second. She's giving me the look. That's the look. There you go, Dixie. All right. Actually, Jennifer has an opinion on the shot. The first thing she noticed is that the fishing rod is growing out of the lady's chin. The second thing was the horizon. So interesting, people see different things in all kinds of different photos. So let's bring this back up and I'll remind everybody what she's talking about. Are you going out there, Dixie? No, you're just digging in the garbage. Let's not do that. There you go. Good cat. Good cat. The fishing rod growing out of her chin. Well, I don't know if I'd say growing out of her chin. You can kind of see that it's just a fishing rod in the boat with her. But it's an interesting observation. And the horizon, I think, is definitely something that we should look into.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you very much, Andrew, for that. Yeah, Dixie, she's awesome. Love that cat. All right. Yeah, I sidetrack super easy, guys. You're going to know that. Let's see. This is Sean Stone's photo. Now, okay, Sean, if you're watching right now, I really, really would have loved to have seen a jumping photo here.
Like Navi?
Yeah, just get them all jumping in the air. Anytime I see a line of people, I just want to see them jumping. But that's just me. And I think it's funny. He says, "Can you tell which one was his wife?" I'm going to say her. Kate.
Yes.
Oh.
It's funny. It reminded me of the song, "One of these things is not like the other. One of these things," which bothers me because really that was a racist song, don't you think? One of these things just doesn't belong, and then they would show like this kind of stuff. Rude. Anyway, let's just move along. I think the fact that you're in a place like this that most people don't ever get to go to, the beautiful colors of their clothing, the horizon, and the amazing detail in the clouds in the back. Let's see. Oh, thanks, guys. I agree with the horizon. Andrew, this is Andrew, by the way. The sun in the eyelet of the fishing rod was intentional.
Okay.
So I kind of thought it might be. I mean, it's an interesting placement just to be random. So the sun, and that was an opinion that he had, and that's what he wanted to shoot. So that makes sense. And Sean says, "I have one. I chose this one." So you have a jumping photo. That's very cool, but he chose this one. I love it. Sean's the best. I don't know if you guys ever get a chance to meet Sean Stone. Dude's freaking hilarious. Love him. Great guy. He's been a customer of mine for a very long time. And I'm glad that you're sharing photos in our photo challenges now. So beautiful. This is his first one that he shared, and I love it. What do you guys think?
I just love it. I can't stop looking at it. There's so much color going on, and I love
Yeah.
color. And Stan noticed the dog even in the corner there.
There he is, right over there. There's so much to see. I love photos like this, and again, I think this could be like a National Geographic type of photo. There's so much going on, and you can just look at each individual person and see their personality and their clothing. And then, of course, the building in the background, it gives a lot of story as to where they're at. Excellent stuff. Phil, anything to add?
I like it. I also like that they're not really looking into the camera. You know, it's kind of a group shot, kind of a candid shot, all at the same time. I think that that makes it feel a bit more natural than if they were all standing there, you know, staring straight into the camera.
Absolutely true. Great observation.
Lovely.
All right, let's move it along. We've got 2 more images left, and you know what? They look almost identical, don't they?
Very similar.
Okay, so Mark actually had his posted first, so let's have a look at Mark's shot.
Beautiful.
Now, Mark, I've actually had your camera in and done cleaning for you before, but I'm pretty sure these aren't birds in the horizon.
UFOs.
Oh, they might be UFOs. That is true. But there's quite a bit of dust on the sensor of your camera there, Mark.
That's what you do, guys, right?
There's a whole bunch more over here, you know. So, again, I've offered this to anybody in the community. If you have any cleaning kit, either the lens pen kit or a different one, if you want to come and see me at Henry's, I will do a sensor clean for you, no problem. Now, this over here, I do believe this is birds in the horizon, so this isn't the problem. But the tone is beautiful. I love the gold tone that you chose. I love the silhouette of the person and the fact that the bottom is very dark. There's no detail there, or else it might be distracting from the actual layers of clouds that are there. What do you guys think? Stan?
I love this image. I love the color. I like the composition. I would just love to see this image printed, like frameless, mounted on an aluminum or something.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. Mount this on like a metallic or aluminum. That would be very cool.
I really like how the sky gives the texture. It looks like it has almost 3D feel to it.
There's a lot of depth to this photo for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff. Hey guys, we haven't even thought about who we're picking as the winner yet. Do you have any thoughts on this yet? You don't have to tell me yet, but just if you have in the back of your mind.
Can I start? I really love the photo with the dog and lady looking at each other.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a pretty shot. That's a great shot.
I love that shot. It tells you the story. It just shows you the mood. Well, I love that shot.
All right, well, I have a feeling I know which one you're picking as the winner, but let's move to the Richard shot because there is still one more shot left to go here.
Like that.
Very, very similar in tone, but a completely different processing technique here. Phil, you've got something to say.
I like the shot. I like that he opted to go for water as opposed to sky. So you get the detail that you would normally get from the sky, but you get it, at the bottom of the shot, in the reflection. You could very well as easily, just cropped out most of the water and had a really detailed sky. But I like that he went the opposite way and had, super detailed kind of foreground and still kept a little bit of the detailed sky.
Yeah, I agree with that. Stan, what do you think?
I have the same feeling.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's a really clear shot. I love that Richard's posting as well. He does a lot of trips to Africa, and he's just on his way back to Africa again. He does a lot of work for, what's the word I'm looking for orphanages and all kinds of other stuff like that. So Richard's just a great, great guy, and I really appreciate you submitting your shots. And everybody, it's just been a great couple of weeks of photos. Y'all did such a great job choosing your favorite photo. We really, really appreciate that. Taking the time to submit to our little group here, and hopefully, watching our show and enjoying what we're doing. Before we go any further, Andrew does say he really likes the shot. It was the Mark Moore shot, this one here. He says he could see it using as a background for a photographer's business card or as an inspirational saying on it like a poster. So I totally agree with that too. It's a beautiful photo.
Brian?
Yes, sir.
I believe that your brother has posted one for his best photo.
Did he?
I think so. You might have to reload your page.
I'm reloading my page, and I don't see Rick.
Oh, I can do a screen share if you'd like.
Please, I don't want to forget my brother. He'll kick my butt.
Let me load it up here. Give me a second.
Cool. In the meantime, we've got to pick a winner. It would be great for the guests to see the first batch of photos from this set from last week. It would be great. So go watch last week's show. Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy. We usually end this by about 10:30, and we're already at 11. So, you know what? I could quickly do a. Have you got your screen share ready there, Phil? Yet?
Yeah, he just got it pulled up right now. I'm just pulling his picture, and then I'm switching back over here.
In the meantime, I will go backwards to the beginning and do a quick scroll through people's best photos, and starting right here. So Charity posted this. Oh, that's black and white portrait. These are black and white portrait. Here we go. Bonnie, your best photo. Absolutely. And now I know why you wanted to see them again, because this is an awesome photo that you shared of your frog photo. Trish posted the photo from the Boots and Hearts, which was another great shot. And that's good that we are looking at these again, because I don't think Stan and Diana had seen these shots. So actually, you watched last week's show, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, these are just going to go through these quickly here. Bonnie's frog photo, Trish's photo from the Boots and Hearts. Robert submitted his photo from his trip to Italy. Glenn's shot here was an old shot from the previous challenge. Heather's photo of the dogs, we all really like this photo as well. Tammy's picture of the Perseids meteor shower in the birch tree, beautiful photo. Then we move a little further up here to Maureen's photo of the wedding party out in the field, and Ashley's photo of the rings, which we talked about on the fender. So let's not forget those when we're talking about which one we're going to pick as the winner. Mm-hmm. All very, very good photos. All right, and Rick says he won't kick my butt, but here is Rick's favorite photo. Oh, that is pretty cool too, actually. I didn't see this. How come this isn't coming up on my screen?
I don't know.
What's up with that?
I don't know. It might have been posted after. I'm not sure.
It's still not showing up, though. Ron says, since I'm new to this, where do you post these pictures for review? Do they go on your Daytripper site or to the Google Plus site? They don't get posted anywhere, Ron. They stay exactly where they are, because this is a private community, and we're not doing this photo challenge to take your photos and use them for anything. They're just for conversation and for us to have a good time talking about things. So they stay exactly where they are in the Daytripper Photo community, under the wall called Weekly Photo Challenge, right there. All right, and thank you for not kicking my butt, Rick, because you know you could. You actually know, like, jiu-jitsu and stuff. So yeah, guys, what do you think of Rick's picture? Anyone? Bueller?
I like it. I like that you have a little bit of the reflection of the inner... Excuse me.
Are you okay?
YouTube thing on him. Only thing about it... Hold on. I jumped this up.
Oh, Phil.
I'm okay. I was going to mute my mic for a sec.
Okay, cool. You do that. Meanwhile, Stan, why don't you tell us what you're thinking?
Well, this is definitely good mood photo.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just thinking what's going to happen next second, and
safety first.
Safety first makes me laugh. I was trying to jump with a mask from that high.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point. You don't usually jump wearing a mask. And I figured out why I couldn't see it, because Rick shared it in photography. He didn't share it in Weekly Photo Challenge.
Oh.
So, and thank you, Andrew, for pointing that out. That's great. Ron, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the shows. It's really cool. But no, I totally agree with you. If I enlarge this photo on my own screen here, you can see that the jumper is surprisingly sharp. Definitely where your focus was on the jumper, not on the background or the inner tube or anything like that. It looks pretty scary, dude. Rick, tell me, did he get a black eye from wearing his mask and jumping in the water? I need to know that. Jennifer says, as a parent, I'm concerned that the poor boy might smash his face with the snorkel gear on. Everybody's saying that. Rick, tell us the story. What's going on, brother?
Is there a picture after, before, and after?
It should be an after photo for sure. Very cool. All right, well, thanks, Rick, for sharing that. Phil, are you still with us? Phil apparently died. Oh, there he is. Good. You're muted, I think. Can't hear you. Jennifer says she also thinks it's cool that the blue from the raft is reflecting onto the boy's stomach. Interesting. That's a good observation. And I think you got your mic working, eh, Phil?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I didn't plug it back in all the way when I was done screen sharing.
No worries. Yeah, so I got the photo back up here. And the blue, yeah, it's definitely reflecting on the bottom of the guy's belly. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Good note there, Jen. All right, guys, we've got to pick a winner. We've got to pick a winner. The winner for your favorite photo challenge. So why don't each of you post it in the chat who you pick as the winner?
Okay.
Stan and Phil. And I've picked who I think should be the winner. Actually, I don't think I have yet. Oh, let's go through back to the weekly photo challenge page. He landed belly first in the tube inflatable, no injury. He actually landed on the tube? Wow.
It worked out quite well then.
Good for him. Thanks, Rick. So there was no injuries. Everybody made it out okay, mask and all. Very cool. All right, so we got to take a few seconds here. Who are we picking as the winner? Okay. I think I agree with Diana on this one.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a very close tie, though. There's a lot of really good ones.
Mm-hmm. It's
All right.
It's hard because we don't really have just a specific kind of category. It's there's great pictures from many different kind of styles of shooting. So
yeah. All right. So you know what I'm gonna do? When we have a situation where there's some photos that two people pick one photo and two people pick another photo, and there's four people in the hang-in, it's kind of a 50-50 type of deal. I like to give 2 first places.
Okay.
Because it's a very inclusive kind of environment. And you know what, Stan? I like yours as well. I like your choice as well. So I'm kind of torn between. Phil, you like that one too. All right. So I'm gonna say the 2 first places will be. Let me just post this for everybody to see first. You guys cool with that?
I think so.
Stan,
Yeah.
Diana?
Yeah, love it.
Awesome, perfect. So the 2 first places are, and usually when we do this, there's a screen share going on. So let's just do a screen share, and we got to have the sound effects because the sound effects make everything cool.
I'm trying to open the Google effects.
Yeah. People still awake? All right, cool. So the winner of the photo challenge this week is a tie for these photos. This one here.
Yeah.
Rachel's photo of the dog, and I think everybody connected with this photo. So well done. Congratulations, Rachel. Good job. And of course, the second first place winner goes to. Ah, yeah, baby. Glenn Hubbers with the owl photo. Ooh, that applause had some flange going to it. That was pretty cool. All right, so congratulations to Rachel and to Glenn. You guys, please feel free to see me at any time at Henry's to win your prize. And this week's prize, and let me just get them out here. There are 2 first place prizes for you this week. One of them will be the Lenspan Moneymaker Kit. Okay, Lenspan Moneymaker Kit. Oh wait, it's the Moneymaker Kit. All right, and the other prize will be the Lenspan tablet and Lenspan itself. So, congratulations to you guys, Rachel and Glenn, for winning this week's photo challenge. The next photo challenge that we have coming up is going to be a lot of fun too. And we're going to tell you that right now before we say goodnight. And that challenge will be making little big. What do you think of that? Making
Like a
little big.
turtle. Like a turtle.
Like a turtle, yeah.
It's a good example.
Sure. Are you going to take a picture? Now, okay, remember, guys, this is new photos only. We're back to new photos only. And that was the only time we do old photos was your best photo. So new photos from today forward. Making Little Big is your photo challenge. So I hope you guys get out there and make some great shots. Oh, Rachel, you're welcome. We love that photo. It's just a very touching, moving photo. Even without knowing the story that the poor dog passed away 3 days later, it was a very touching shot. So good job. Well done. Congratulations. What else? Oh, let's go back to the notes here for a quick second because there's other stuff I just wanted to quickly mention. Make Little Big is photo challenge. Don't forget to join the Daytripper Photo community on Google+ if you haven't already done so. If you're watching this on YouTube, please click like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. And don't forget the expo. Stan, Diana, they're going to be doing some great sessions at the expo on boudoir and maternity photography. I can't wait to see what you guys bring to the table in your presentation. I'm very excited about the expo. If you haven't noticed already, I'm super excited about the expo. The level of talent that we have teaching is mind-blowing. And the best part is you guys are local. Like, it's all people from the area. The incredible talent that we have in Newmarket is phenomenal. You guys have a studio on Main Street. Why don't you tell the folks where your studio is, what kind of services you offer besides boudoir and maternity kind of photography?
You want me?
Okay. Well, we're located at 474 Botsford Street, Unit 201. Right above the Heaven store. And we specialize...
You said Botsford Street. Sorry to cut off, but Botsford Street is just on the side of Main Street. So if you go down Main Street...
Yes. Like Botsford and Main Street.
It's a corner.
That's a corner. Beautiful yellow building. We're on the second floor. Well, we didn't have actually a chance yet to put any signs outside, and we have a new landlord, and we're still discussing about it. But we're specializing in taking pictures of people, production stills for film and television, and
we do a lot of events and family photo taking these days, and we also recently started doing the print and framing, and we just completed the family photo session, and we arrived to their house, and we even completed the full assembly on their walls. So
very cool.
So our service includes from the very beginning, from the picture taken, printing, framing, and even hanging on the wall if you wish.
That is a great service. Very cool.
Yes, and it could be anything. It could be a family or your event or a birthday. We just did a bunch of weddings as well, and we have lots of new ideas. We bring props with us if we need to to pose. And the other day, Stan was coloring some cheesecloths for the baby photography. So we give ourselves everything, us and our creativity to the client, and we achieve whatever they want. We do.
Well, that's awesome. And it's really cool that you guys work together like you do, because Gabriel, who's usually on the show, I guess his dinner with his wife, it's their son's last day away, so they're home alone. And, I'm sure it started with dinner, but you never know where things go with Gabriel. So I hope he's having a great night. But he and his wife also work together for all their photography. So I think it's a really nice dynamic when you have people you trust that you work with. It can open up so many more doors and so many more opportunities when you have somebody that you really trust. And I think it's great that you guys are working together. And thank you both so much for being on our show. I know it's been a very late night, and I really appreciate you spending the time with us tonight. Can't wait to see what you've got for the expo. And guys, if you haven't already registered, anybody who's watching, go to www.daytripperphoto.com. Get your tickets for the expo. There's still lots of tickets available. It's only $200 for the entire weekend. We're talking Friday night is included. There's a night photography class, my Bring on the Night session. It's a 3-hour class on its own, usually $100. It's included in the $200 all-access multipass. Saturday night, same deal. The Bring on the Night class is going to be available to you as well. All the sessions on Saturday, all the sessions on Sunday. Ross Chevalier, Don Komarechka, Joe LeDuc, myself, Martin Ingalls doing travel, Stan and Diana doing boudoir and maternity. So many great sessions. Ron Clifford.
We forgot to mention a little bit about the makeup and hair that we just decided that I'll be including into the Stan's session, which is extremely important when you're photographing people.
Makeup and hair for photography.
It's so true. It's so true. I mean, how many times do you go take pictures of people? It's like, it didn't look that great. a little bit of hair and makeup goes so far, so far. So excellent. Glad you guys were on the show tonight. Thank you again. And Phil, thanks for the financial tip. I know that a lot of people were getting freaked out with the whole crash, or it wasn't really a crash, but the fluctuations in the markets, and having somebody that you can trust to fall back on for that information is really helpful too. Where can folks get a hold of you if they want to take you up on your amazing offer of helping out people in the community?
Well, you can get in touch with me. Just shoot me off an email, and that is pzoratto@canfin.com. Or alternatively, Brian's got a couple of my cards stacked away somewhere at Henry's, so you can always go in and see him to get my phone number. And once you have my phone number, you can always give me a call or shoot me a text pretty much at any time.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, and again, thanks for being on the show. I know it's a late night tonight. Gabe would have had to take off a while ago anyway, because he's got to get up early regardless. So very cool. And just to go to the Q&A quickly before we say goodnight. Good choices, 2 awesome photos, Andrew says, and all the other ones were great as well. And you know what, Michelle, it's a really good point. Congratulations, Rachel, and especially on National Dog Day. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. That's it for us, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching tonight and every week. We really, really appreciate it. And we're going to keep on going. Next week, we're going to be talking about some really cool stuff, but we'll make that in our announcement shortly. Don't forget the photo challenge for the next 2 weeks is make big or make small big. Make things that are small look big.
Okay.
Have fun, everybody. See y'all next week.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Right. Guys, don't take off from the Hangout yet. I'm just going to end the broadcast. We'll talk it just for a few seconds.
Okay.
Sure, absolutely.
Stopping broadcast now. Bye.